Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Decorum, which is the newest game from Floodgate Games, and one that I saw the demo of at last Gen Con. The one that I think he's the CEO, Ben, he was telling me a little bit about it. I'm like, oh, that seems pretty cool. But it was interesting because it's a game of passive-aggressive cohabitation. I was not fully expecting a co-op. Like, I was thinking probably semi-co-op, where you have to, like, you're each trying to meet your own goals, but you can't specifically say what they are, which is exactly what that is, but you have to work with your partner. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I think this game is... So I typically don't like hidden information or imperfect communication games, because... especially in co-ops, it's like, just tell me, like, so we can start. Like, Gloomhaven has that, where it's like, I can go medium speed, and I'm gonna kind of run slightly to the left and attack, and it's like, fucking, I can't, we need to win, but I think this game handles that concept extremely well. I think it's a lot of fun. It's done in a lighthearted, jokey way, in a theme that makes sense. So yeah, I very much like this game. What are your thoughts, honey?
I like it a lot too, babe. It's like just the right amount of frustrating that you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
You fucking paint the kitchen one more goddamn time.
Right.
Like, at one time I was about to lose my shit and I couldn't remember. I can't even remember what for, but I think you took the green painting out of the living room, and I was like, oh my god!
Right.
There has to be a green in every room!
Yeah. And it's so hard because whenever someone does an action, you can only respond in the vaguest of ways, love it, hate it, or neutral. And it's like, that didn't tell me anything. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's like, what I kept getting frustrated by was every time you said you hate it, it's like, okay, well then fix, like, you see, I removed it for a reason, so fix it in another way that still matches you. And then it's like, then you do something, and it's like, oh, I hated that.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I'm fixing my shit.
Right. But it's done in such a lighthearted way that it's not frustrating, because even in our longest one, the one that took us to, I think, like, turn 25, like, it was still fun. It was like trying to figure out, this is such a unique puzzle. And it is a puzzle game. But they do it in a way that it's I'm so glad it's not 30 turns and hope you get it, brute force it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the heart-to-heart, or if you're playing a 3 or 4 player game,
you have a little meeting.
Yeah, a house meeting, where you can be like, okay, this is the one that you're not picking up on, this is one I'm having the hardest time with, so that's the one I'm going to tell you. Mm-hmm. And then you tell me one, and then the rules don't specifically say, but it's like, well, you can strategize now, I guess, a little bit more, where it's like, oh, okay, you need one of each color in each room. You need a green in each room. Okay, that's fine. And now you know I can't have moderns down there. So quit putting modern, curios in that room. And I like that. Like, and there's 20 for a 2-player game, which is very interesting that they seem to have focused on the 2-player aspect a little bit more. At least there's more scenarios for 2 players. But there's 20 different scenarios, and so far, while you're doing the exact same thing in theory with just getting different types of conditions, just the fact that at least the 3 that we have played so far still feel radically different. Mm-hmm. What do you think? So what do you think? I'm curious on your thoughts on the imperfect communication. Like, because most co-ops that we play are, obviously, everything's open.
Yeah, I don't really know that I have very, neutral feelings about it. I mean, it's not, great! I mean, it is great for the game, I guess. So I guess I like it in this manner, because I know for sure that we're going to reach an end goal. Like, at some point, we're going to have to get to a meeting spot.
Right.
So that makes it a little less hard, but rather than because I know there have been games where it's like, well, I absolutely have to have green in every room, but you're like, I cannot have green in the kitchen. Like,
Right.
we don't have that, so
Right. Yeah, and
in this context, it works very well.
yeah. The other interesting aspect of this game is the fact that, which could be a negative to some people, is that technically these scenarios are one and done. Like, the first three, now that we've gone through them, or if anyone watches them, they theoretically cannot play those again. I mean, people make that assumption with, like, the Sherlock Holmes games or the detective games, but it's like, look, if you're anything, I mean, unless you have, like, an eidetic memory and you're just like, I retain everything.
Yeah.
I've replayed detective cases that I've done, that I know I've done.
Well, and here's the thing, I was Spencer, you were Blake in the first one. I
Yeah.
don't fucking remember. I don't remember what Blake, or I don't remember what Spencer did. I sure as shit don't remember what Blake.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we've already played, like, we could go back to the very first one we did. It's like, yeah, I don't really remember. Like, I can't retain off the top of my head exactly what those players needed. So, yeah, theoretically, you have seen them, and maybe if we went back and we're like, oh, that's right, you don't need this over there. But Floodgate has already come up with a solution. It's not available yet, but it will be. You can sign up for it on their newsletter. They're developing an app, so where you can it just randomly generates it for you. So once you do go through the story, then
Interesting.
you can just randomly do it.
Interesting, because how do you keep those separate?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you know, like, how do you keep Blake and Spencer separate?
Well, they don't randomize these specifically. It comes off of, like on your app.
Yep.
Like, how do you, probably both players need an app. I don't know specifically. I don't know too much about the app, but I do know probably both players or all parties need the app, and there's probably a code that everyone puts in to where it's like, here's the same game. And then you pick, I'm going to be Blake, and you're going to be Spencer, and you probably click that.
We're both Blake.
Yeah, we both click Blake. Oh, what do you need?
It's so great. We're vibing so well.
Yeah, so, and I don't know, like, Floodgate just does a great job with, like, almost asymmetric games, but yet keeping them, like, this is so minimalistic. Like, with its color scheme, with its, with its styles, like, it's literally a gray room, and then everything else is color.
Yep.
But there's so much depth to the game that I thoroughly enjoy it. This is not like a brain-burning puzzle where you're just like, there's no way.
This is a really good, like, rainy day, just mellow, burning time.
Yeah.
Because it is a puzzle game. Like, it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I would, you were right, like, because you found this for me and asked, like, if I wanted it.
Yeah.
I was like, let's pull the fucking switch.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same kind of puzzle thought. So if you like their other games, Holy, if you like it for its color and it's like its paint placement, or Sagrada, if you're in the same vein and Sagrada works for you in kind of a spatial awareness dice placement, this is definitely a game that is of that ilk, but done in a completely different way. And if you're thinking this is a party game where it's like, a passive aggressive, and it's like, that's just gonna piss me off. It's literally just a title. Like, technically, mechanically, you have to say, I hated that. Well, why? You can't be upset if you don't give me a solution. And it's like, because I'm passive aggressive.
That's the passive part.
Because I'm a shit fucker.
It's like when your wife brings home 2 mirrors and you hate one.
Yep. And it's like, I bought these. I'm gonna hang them up. In my house?
I wish you wouldn't.
That's weird.
I'm gonna hang it up on your side of the bed.
It's like, but you said I could do it wherever. And it's like, yeah, if it doesn't look like shit.
I said wherever in the attic.
I said whatever in your room, which is the garage.
The cat's poop room.
You can only modify the litter box.
Little lamp in there, like.
But yeah, I mean, and this game is I would argue is like a perfect game for couples, like especially couples who live together, because you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is me.
What do you mean you don't want to paint the fucking bathroom bright red? You don't want the whole house red?
No. Yeah, and you can almost attribute things like real life experiences into this game. Because even though it is abstract, put green here, put this symbol here. They did a really good job, I think, of balancing and making it thematic. Like, just the little blurbs of kind of who these people are gives you something to go with, like
Yeah.
your commune girl, and then me, the old drunk has-been rocker. You know what this game does remind me of, though? More in theme, not in really mechanics at all, Fog of Love.
Yeah, I see
Like,
that. I see that.
Which is weird, because like I said, mechanically,
No, I get what you mean, because you are two people given, like, two bios.
Right, and you have, like, conditions that you have to meet, and you're...
Yeah.
But, like, you can't be like, hey, I need, all my things in aggression, like, So it's kind of more of that, of like, well, you chose this, what kind of person are you? But it's definitely not easy. Like, normally it's just kind of, okay, well, I'm fulfilled. Yay, hopefully you are too. And then you move one thing and it's like, okay, all right, I'm not fulfilled anymore. How can I still be fulfilled while also helping you out? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, did she need to move that? Can I move it back? And then it's like, I move it back, and you're like, I hate this. It's like, okay, so you can't have it there. Because in one of the ones that we did, like, I was sitting there and I'm like, we're not going to have enough time. We don't have enough turns left for me to, like, rotate everything. Okay, I need to take this out, move it over here. You need to take that out, move it over there. And it's like, oh, can we even do this in the time allotted? And I like that. I do think they give you definitely enough time. Mm-hmm. And if you are finding it too difficult, there is a variant you can play where you start off with a house meeting. You just tell someone, you already say what one of your conditions is.
That's cool.
Instead of just blanket start off from scratch, you can be like, oh, I need curios in every room. And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
So if you're like, if we can't even get past Blake and Spencer, then you can change that. But other than that,
Because Spencer wanted to keep putting his haunted ass mom in the
she was a freak. In a 3 and 4 player game, you of course all have your conditions, but you also have your different conditions that whenever you have a house meeting, you basically give, like, so this, like, player 4 would have 3 of these cards, and and there is no red, but in this case, player 4, so he has one of each of these, and you give one person one condition, so that person knows that you need a curio in every room, but no one else does, and hopefully they picked it on. So I haven't personally tried a 3 or 4 player game. I might give this a shot tonight, but that would be very interesting. I can see a 3 and 4 player game being extremely frustrating when you're like, you get it, they don't.
Yeah.
So yeah. I really don't have a whole lot, like, to say on this game. Like, I think it's a must-have if you like Fog of Love, Sagrada, and Holy. But if you're not into abstracts, I would even say give this one a shot. It does have theme, even though it doesn't look like it. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
Cool. Okay. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
You know what? I mean, I literally have no complaints. There's no reason to not give it a 10 for me.
Give it a 10 for you?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Checks all my dang old boxes.
Checks all your boxes.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go all the way up to a 10.
That's fair.
But here's another actual thing. If anyone is a fan of this channel or has listened to a lot of games that are of this kind, this is a filler. Or close to a filler. Like, it's in the same vein but it does the same stuff that Calico, Canvas, and Cascadia do, where you still have thought. It's not like Splendor, where it's like, I'll take this, I'll do this, game's over. Like, you're engaged the entire time, even though, because you care what your opponent is doing, not your opponent, your partner is doing. It's like, and sometimes they do something and you're just like, oh, thank God they didn't mess with it. Yeah, whatever, fine. If that helps you, fine. And then they do something else and you're like, now you fucked up like 4 of my things. So 2 of our games took, one game took like 20 minutes. This one took 20 minutes, and another one took 40. So it can range in, just based off how you start messing around with the house. But
yeah, you realize everything needs to be completely shifted.
yeah, and you're like, okay, because there was a time where I'm like, yeah, we might have to reset. Like, is it too late? But the game is not overly long. You're engaged the entire time. It's a fun thematic puzzle. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. Like, I'm gonna keep Decorum at a 9. It's not a 10 because I do think for a lot of people, and even for myself, like, if you were to retain each envelope, or most of them, you are limiting your playthroughs. Depending on how that app comes out and how innovative that is, where you can just, you don't get repeats, somehow it's generating enough that you can just always play this game with that, then it would probably bump up to a 10, because I think that's a really cool way to keep this game, relevant. But yeah, 9 from me, 10 from Kat. That's our thoughts on Decorum. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.